You guys, put your hands together for your last comedian of the night. Go crazy for Kirk Smith.
Your host, guys, one more time. Let her hear it. Good to be here. How you guys doing? Great. This is what I look like. I look like an off-duty cop. I look like a failed youth pastor. Who now works at Earl's. I was there last night. I sat 6 couples. It's good to be in Vancouver. It's good to be up here. People are so nice in Canada. Cliche but true. People are nice. First time I was here, some guy held open a door for me, like 150 feet in front of me. I had to run over there. I wasn't even going that direction. I guess I'm going to the bank today. I've never even heard of Scotia Bank. I know a lot less about things than I should. And like I was hanging out with my friend, she was like, help me pick out a present for my boyfriend. He's from Van, which means Vancouver. I didn't know that. So I just heard her say, help me pick out a present for my boyfriend. He's from a van. I don't know. What do you get the man who has nothing? Maybe get him a gym membership so he can shower? I don't know. This is how I look. Not that funny, but thank you. In the 40s and 50s, they used to call these bedroom eyes. That's what they used to call that. Nobody calls them that anymore. I know. Now what happens is everywhere I go, somebody comes up to me and goes, you have any weed? And if I say I don't have any, they don't believe me. I get the look. You have any rolling papers? It's rude. I don't go up to fat people and go, you have any cupcakes? You have any cupcake wrappers? I was living in Hollywood the last 5 years. Here's the thing about Los Angeles. It's a dump. It's all broken mattresses and used dreams. I don't know. And there's no parking. There's no real public transportation, so you have to drive, but there's no parking. Sometimes I would park 6 blocks from my apartment. I bought a Razor push scooter to keep in the trunk of my car. To go the 6 blocks from my car to my apartment. I don't know if my neighbors ever knew that I had a car. They would just see me leave on the morning in a scooter, come back on a scooter. Where's that guy going? I don't know. He said he had a date and they got on his little scooter and pushed away like he's 5. My buddy Eddie was like, what happens if you meet a girl? What happens if you bring a lady over to your place? I'm like, that's a good point. I bought a second scooter. I just left LA, moved back to New York City. I like New York City. From the Bronx. I'm actually not really from the Bronx. I actually grew up in Ecuador and El Salvador, which is kind of weird because my name is Kirk Smith. The whitest name ever. When I moved to the Bronx, my buddy was like, you're moving to the Bronx? You're not scared to live in the Bronx? Then I had to explain. I was like, no, man. I grew up in the 80s in El Salvador, which is like growing up now in El Salvador. And then we moved to Ecuador. Ecuador's a little country. I don't meet a lot of people from Ecuador. Every once in a while, I'll meet somebody who's like 3rd generation from Ecuador, and then they won't believe me that I'm from Ecuador because of the way I look. I know that. So they'll be like, you're from Ecuador? Which part? And I'll tell them the truth. La ciudad, Guayaquil. El vecindario, Ordesa, pero también vivimos un chance en La Garzota. No sé si lo ubicas. And then they'll say, I don't speak Spanish. But you sound like my grandma, so it's possible. It's possible. U.S. this year, the U.S. women won the World Cup this year. I know, it's exciting, I know. Kind of exciting, yeah. Last year, the U.S. men did not even qualify. It's embarrassing, right? You know who qualified? Mexico. They have 100 million Mexicans. The U.S. did not qualify. We have 100 million Mexicans. President's like, some of these Mexicans are rapists and murderers. I'm like, some of them play defense. Brutal. I have kids. This is hard to believe, but the truth is my kids are 20 and 22. I know. I got married when I was 10. People are always curious about my age. Listen, can't tell you my age. Still trying to work in the entertainment business. I don't know anything about skincare. After a show, this lady was like, what's your secret? What's your secret? I don't know anything. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I use cocoa butter. She's like, no way, me too. Every day I put it on my face. I'm like, I think I'm doing it wrong. My daughter's 22, and she gets embarrassed a lot. You know, parents are always embarrassed, and it's normal. 22 is tough. It's a tough age, 5 to 95. The thing that embarrasses her the most is she looks a little older, and I look a little younger. I know. We're out together. Somebody always thinks she's my girlfriend. I know. It's weird. It's embarrassing. Because she's not really my type. We're in a restaurant like a little while ago. And the waiter, she goes in first, and the waiter's like, can I see you and your boyfriend? And without missing a beat, she turns, points at me, and goes, I could do better. Pretty funny. She can. It's funny. If it's funny, it's funny. It's great. She wants to get married, I think, to this guy, and he doesn't want to ask permission. This generation of men, like, they don't like confrontation, like, because everything's online, everything's, not used to the face-to-face thing. But listen, man, I'm old school. You want to marry my daughter, you have to come over to my house, knock on my door, and fight me. And he doesn't have a dad, and he wants me to be his dad. I'm like, I don't want to be your dad, bro. I'm good. You want to be your dad? Fine. I'm your dad and I'm her dad. Stop dating your sister. I did write kind of a really well-received book called Rice Krispies with Ketchup. It's about my son who's 20, who's severely autistic. It's true. Funny thing about autism, you can't usually tell someone's autistic just by looking at them. Like with my son, you can't really tell other than the fact that he really likes to be naked. We were in a store one time, and he's kind of having a meltdown. And this guy got mad at me, and he's like, hey, control your kid. And I was like, hey, be compassionate, he's autistic. Well, how am I supposed to know that? He's naked. Well, so what? This is Walmart. Touche, touche. That's a good point. My son's 20 now, and he's my height, but he's not built like me. He's built more like a man. My son looks like a man's man, and I look a little bit more like a man's man. Punctuation joke. My son looks a little bit like, if you punch him in the face, you'll make him angry. And I look a little bit more like, if you punch him in the face, you'll just make my boyfriend angry. My son's 20, and but in his mind, he's probably like 4 or 5, if I had to put a number on it. But he loves women. There's something in his brain, and he loves women's butts. It's the truth. And if you don't keep an eye on him in the store, he'll wander up to some lady and grab her butt. I know, in this climate. Not good. The lady will be like, hey. Like, oh, I'm sorry, he's severely autistic. Oh, he's autistic? Oh, that's okay. That's a major loophole. You ought to try that on somebody else. Goes up to somebody else. Hey. Oh, I'm sorry, he's autistic. Who's autistic? Oh, sorry, I'm autistic. Autism's in the news more now, but I feel like it's a very specific kind of autism. It's like the super, super high functioning, like this kid's a doctor, this kid's a... And so that's what everybody thinks of, and that's one side of autism. But there's also another side, which is a little bit, lower functioning, we call it. I remember my son was diagnosed in 2001. My best friend's named Matt, from New York. He has more issues than my son. And I was like, my son's autistic. And he goes back with what's wrong with the kid being artistic? A lot of kids are artistic. Not everybody likes sports. This 2001, all we had was Rain Man. That was the only movie, right? So he watches the movie and he comes back to me, autistic, I think I get it. You know what we should do? We should take him to Vegas and get paid. And then I have to explain, I'm like, my son's not one of these autistics that likes numbers. He likes ketchup and running around naked, like his old man. My buddy Matt's always bragging. Like, my kid's on the honor roll. Then I get defensive. Like, well, my kid stopped peeing in the closet, except for your house. My kid's been tying his shoes since he's 3. Well, my kid, since he's 2.5, has been pissing in your kid's shoes. Just surprised he can tie such wet laces. You have to keep an eye on him. Somebody has to watch him. That's how it works. Like, you take him to McDonald's, you don't keep an eye on him, he'll just like help himself to people's food as we walk by. Well, that's delicious. Let me have one of those. One time I was at McDonald's, this lady's staring at me. Like, do I know this lady? Like, she see me on TV? What's happening? I look down, right in the middle of her 3 kids is my son just eating all their food. Saved me $7. Told my daughter, you could learn something from this kid. You could learn something. That's a value meal. It's weird to me that your kids are your kids and you don't share a lot in common. They're their own people, they have their own interests, they're just like completely... I was like a frustrated jock my whole life. She loves books. That's it, reading. Only trouble she's ever given me is she reads too much. Like, we're supposed to be doing something, she's reading. She's supposed to be sleeping, she's reading. How do you fix that, like, as an ex-jock? You just, like, walk around the house knocking books out of her hands? Not my house, you little nerd. Go do some laps. Like, Lord of the Rings comes out. She reads the books before the movie. Look at these kids. We're sitting at the dinner table. She looks up, and I look up, and she's like, Dad, do you think that the Lord of the Rings is an allegory for the Bible, or Gandalf's a messianic figure and his death brings redemption to the people? I was thinking about ketchup. I'm taking my pants off, right, son? I try to take my son out a lot to do activities. It's important for people to see, in society, to see people of different abilities, different everything. So he likes the water, so I take him on cruises. And the thing is, he's like 4 or 5 in his mind, so he just wants to hang out in the kids' play place. Problem is, he's half Sri Lankan, so he has like a full mustache. So it looks like just two grown men hanging out with a bunch of kids. Some lady's like, are some of these kids yours? I had to tell her, I was like, no, we're just here to watch. I'm here to watch him. He's here to watch kids. Got a credit card in the mail. That's what I do. There's a financial crisis in America. They're sending out credit cards to autistic children. The last group of Americans without credit card debt. I just want to be part of the marketing campaign. I envision it something like this. 3 cases of ketchup, $72. 1 box of the Wiggles, $29. Being autistic and having a better credit score than your old man, priceless. All right, we're going to take a sharp, dark turn here, guys, okay? I'm serious. We're going to take a little darker turn. If you can't handle it, we'll go back to the Disney stuff. And by Disney, I mean autism. I'm widowed. We're going to talk about it a little bit. It's just jokes. You can laugh. In fact, if you don't laugh, it just turns into a sad speech. I was married for 18 years, kind of a long time, you know. And I've been a comedian for a long time, despite the fact that you don't recognize me. I never had any game never had any game. And any little game I had atrophied. You know, somebody 20 years, I had nothing. And so my buddy was like, you should just do the moves that you did on your wife when you met your wife. You know, trying to encourage me. I was like, the moves? The moves from 1992? Let me tell you what my moves were. Move number 1, join a church youth group. Move number 2, get someone's beeper number. And move number 3, rent a video cassette tape, make it a Blockbuster night. That's it. That joke doesn't make any sense. Before you were born. That's what we used to do. Just saying, your dad may have rented a really boring movie. Couldn't finish it. And bam, you're here. You should thank God for Speed 2. Seen it? Haven't seen it? Neither's your dad. If Keanu Reeves could act, you might not exist. Do you know who that is? Okay, good. It's a lot of young people. We'll do dating jokes. Dating jokes, sure, why not? I'm dating again. I will tell you this. If you're in a terrible relationship, just stay in it. There's nothing out there. Sad laughter. That's my favorite. Did you see how the older people laughed? I've dated 2 diabetics. So clearly I have a type. Type 1. They love a sugar daddy. They love a sugar daddy. I did date a 2nd grade teacher. That's very nice. Very positive. It's great for your ego. You know, it's so encouraging. We were hanging out. I parallel parked. I kind of screwed it up. And she was like, Kirk, that was terrific. Your mom would be so proud. We're making out. She gives me those gold stars. I was hanging out with my buddy, and he's like, you have a watermelon sticker on your forehead. Oh, yeah, I was a good boy earlier. I forgot. Some women find being widowed attractive, I think. You know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, he's like a hurt bird. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not hurt. I'm broken. Does that make sense? I don't need Netflix and chill. I need therapy and pills. Too dark. Okay. I think it's because women like projects, right? And I look like I've got it together. You know, I've got buttons on my shirt. So they're like a project. I'm like, I think I could work with that. He's still got the original shingles up top. The facade looks okay. Then we start dating, and quickly they realize, oh no, this is a major renovation. This might be a complete teardown. I should cut my losses and put this back on the market. Dated a nurse for a minute. Mostly because I don't have health insurance. Can't complain about your date or nurse. Can't do it. It's a tough job. I auditioned for this movie. I didn't get it. I was upset. I came home. I started to tell her. She interrupted me. She's like, you had a hard day? Really? Today at work? Did somebody take a crap on you and then die? Because if not, I don't want to hear it. My daughter's thinking about having kids again. Or not again. Should we start that over recording this? I'm sorry. My daughter's thinking about having kids. And I was telling her, I was like, you should wait a little bit. She's like, should I wait till I have more money? I was like, no, wait till I'm not single. I can't be single and a grandpa and on Tinder. You know, a gilf. Some girl swipes right at me. She's like, how you doing, daddy? And I'm like, well, technically, I'm a granddaddy. Well, I'm looking for a sugar daddy. Well, I do have a drawer full of Werther's Originals. This table loves me. This table has a lot of Googling to do later. Werther's Originals? Oh, my granddaddy does have those. The disgusting hard candies. They're disgusting. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I dated a girl. Didn't work out because our star signs didn't align. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? She was a Scorpio, which means she's loyal but jealous. And then I think that the zodiac is horse crap. Don't bite my head off. It's not horse crap. It's just an opportunity to take zero personal responsibility while blaming calendar animals. Listen, baby, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put on a mask and root through your garbage, but I'm a raccoon, baby. That's my star sign. Little hands in there. Can't help it. Dated a lawyer for a minute. It's hard to date a lawyer. Lawyers argue for a living, right? She's a woman. Also just good at arguing. I could not win an argument. Let me give you an example. One time, she forgot to pick me up from the airport. I was upset. We talked about it, and I apologized. I want to go a little darker. We're going to try this, guys. I know this is the early show. We're trying stuff. Okay, so we're trying this. So, a long time ago, 20 years ago, my wife was a very beautiful woman, and a painter got a hold of us and was like, I'd like to paint her. She's like, okay. So he paints like 8 paintings. No big deal. 15 years go by. She passes away. He gets a hold of me and is like, listen, I've got this painting of your wife that's been hanging in my gallery for like 15 years. I'd like you to have it. Okay, sounds nice, right? I live in a studio apartment. What am I going to do with a life-size picture of my late wife? It's 10 feet by 8 feet. That's 80 square feet. My apartment in New York City is 250 square feet. If I hang that thing, my apartment turns into wall painting. You know what I mean? The tour would be like toilet, air mattress, late wife. How can I bring a girl home? I bring her home, she's like, who's that? That's my late wife. You want to make out in a leaky air mattress or what? Where are you going? If you leave now, you'll never get your own painting. I like some of you. Some of you have a dark sense of humor. We would get along. We would get along. It's hard to tell old people how you're dating. I don't know. LA, it's all Botox and leather pants. I never know what's happening. This girl's talking to me. I'm at a party with my daughter. I can't figure how old this girl is, right? Turns out, 21. I'm like, you're too young. And her pickup line was, where have you been all my life? I know. I was like, raising your best friend. I'm playing pickup basketball with your dad. Some of you don't want to laugh. I like that about you. You're like, when is this Bible salesman going to hand out tracts? The apps suck. It's tough out there. Yo, my buddy meets a girl on Tinder. First date, they hook up. She gets pregnant and is keeping the baby. Classic Kevin. He's having a baby with a girl whose phone number's not in his phone. Second date, he couldn't remember her name. You gotta do that old trick where you take her to Starbucks. Suzanne, that's what I was gonna say. Suzanne with a Z. Who's on Tinder? Who's on Tinder? Oh, you liars, I recognize some of you. You have to be careful on Tinder. It's a little bit like shopping at a store with expired goods. The packaging looks terrific. But if you eat anything, you're definitely getting hepatitis. Wow, that's where you guys draw the line. Good to know. Mental illness, you're fine with. Dead wife, also fine. Nobody makes fun of hepatitis. I've got the big hep C, I don't like it. There's a cure. There's a cure for that. There's a cure for that. I think there is, right? Don't you think? Are we Googling this? Checking my notes. Oh, this just says don't give up. This is very unprofessional, but I have a couple new jokes. I want to make sure I do them. I know it's really bad. I think I did the new stuff great. That's great. I went on a date with a girl. It's a really sweet girl, really pretty. And there wasn't a connection. There was no spark between us. And my buddy Alex is a lunatic. And he was like, you didn't like her? Send her my way. Like she gets no say at all. I'm like, listen, Melissa, I had a nice time with you. I'm sorry there wasn't a connection. I'm going to hand you off to my associate Alex at this point. Who's going to service you going forward. I'm going to step out of this relationship. If you could give me 5 stars. Dated the doctor for a second. She broke up with me though because I couldn't get over my late wife. I'm like, listen, you can't deny me for a pre-existing condition. That's a solid joke, guys. That's a solid joke. A little Hippocratic oath, misdirection. Come on. I grew up mostly in Ecuador and El Salvador. I told you that. Here's the difference between L.A. and Ecuador. In L.A., I had a meeting once with an agent. Was like, hey, you have a good look. You could totally play a doctor. In Ecuador, I could just be a doctor. I grew up in Ecuador because my parents are missionaries. That's how that happened. Yeah, so I'm not an army brat. I'm like a holy crap. I learned Spanish first. My English is coming along. Thanks. But I learned English from like old preachers, so you don't learn any slang, you don't learn any bad words, nothing, right? I moved to the States as an adult. I'm in Dallas, Texas. This girl comes up to me, she's like, hey, do you like to party? Which can mean to use drugs. Well, I didn't know that. She's like, yeah, I like to party. I'm thinking, I like balloons and cake. She's thinking like nitrous and coke. And she's like, really? Are you cool? Do you play in the snow? Sometimes. This is Dallas. No, man. Do you get down? Do you ride the white unicorn? This girl's an idiot. Unicorns are extinct. Still crossed. Unicorns aren't extinct. You can only see them if your heart is pure. Do a little story, guys. A little story time with Uncle Kirk, yeah? My wife was, did we tell you this? She's Sri Lankan? I think I told you that, right? Sri Lankan? Like, you know, like brown? Like blackish? Like black enough to get us kicked out of like a Klan rally? Like a Cracker Barrel? I'm telling you, this table loves me. If I could clone these lunatics, I'd be recording every night. This table loves me. I don't know what's happening. Where are you guys from? Vancouver. Right here, this room. Love it. It explains that. Vancouver? Yeah, we were born right here. So many ways to go with that joke, but I just feel bad. And I gotta get off stage. I gotta go. No, we're born in this room. We like to bang. Okay. What were we talking about? Racism. Here we go. We already did death and disability. Here we go. By the way, this is a terrible story. No judging. Right? We already agreed? Right? Okay. Listen to your fake youth pastor. Here we go. So she was Sri Lankan. You guys know what Sri Lankan is, right? A lot of multicultural cities here, yeah? Sri Lanka's like a little island up the coast of India. Used to be a British colony. Yeah. Beautiful. I learned this there. I don't speak English. I didn't know that. I was there with my wife, and I asked for a bottled water, and the lady just looks at me. And then my wife was like, say it like you're supposed to say it here. And then I was like, oh, God. I'd like a bottled water. And the lady gives it to me. And then my wife was like, you don't have to do the head thing. That's a true story. So, like in an interracial relationship. Interracial couples, Vancouver? Anybody out here? Anybody? Yeah? One little cheer on the way back. Who was that? Who cheered? Was that you, sir, on the way back? I can see. What's that? Did you just say, yeah, it's me, Campbell? Like I know who that is? Hey, Campbell, how you doing? Thanks for coming out and being on my recording. What are the two races? What are the two races, sir?
Indian and white guy.
There's a long pause. You're just checking who you're sitting next to? Indian and, we'll call that white. It's dark in here. Sure, it's wide enough. How long? How long have you guys been together?
4 years.
4 years. Clap, guys. 4 years. That's great. Could be you guys. Yeah, could be you guys. Yeah. In an interracial relationship, you can give each other racist nicknames. Not too soon. Not like on a second date. You can't go on a first, second date. What's up, Cracker McCracker? My nickname for my wife was Chocolate Buns. And her nickname for me was a White Backup Plan. Stay with me. I had also nicknamed her the Taliban because she was little and brown, and I was sure it was going to be the death of me. Stay with me. So we gave each other ringtones, something specific when that person calls. So the ringtone she gave me was Children of the Corn, Before You Were Born. There was a movie about albino murderers that I resemble. That's it. You're up to speed. So I thought it'd be funny to give her the ringtone of the Muslim Friday Call to Prayer. Hello, hello, hello. I'm a comedian. I thought it'd be funny. I'm hanging out with my buddies, all of a sudden I hear, hello, hello, hello. Sorry guys, fun's over. Taliban's on the phone. So it's funny for like a year. And then I was on an American Airlines flight. Yeah. And there were mechanical delays. It was hot. We're just sitting on the tarmac sweating. It was so hot my balls are sticking to somebody else's leg. All of a sudden, the quiet, I hear, hello, hello. And the guy next to me looks like he's Middle Eastern. And he turns to look at me. He's like, are you Muslim? And I tell him, no, it's just my wife. And I take out my phone to show him, but I've changed her name in the phone to the Taliban. And he can see that the Taliban's calling me now. And I've explained, no, I'm not a crazy racist. I just like to mess with my wife. You guys have been terrific. My name is Kirk. Come say hi. Give it up for your host, for Eddie, for Marino. One more time.